this is one heck of a way to start a video. Don't click off. You're still gonna get your 10 de-stressing tips. I wrote all these tips out earlier today and just wanted to do a bit of a reality check. I mean, everyone always says, you know, Instagram, YouTube's a highlight reel and stuff. And knowing that I was gonna film this today and writing out all these tips and then having an argument and being in a stressed out situation and ending up completely beating myself down, it made me feel like I had no credit to be able to say any of this. I felt like I worked so hard and that to end up in the same place, but I was reminded that I used to be in that place daily, multiple times a day, just because I returned to it after like months doesn't mean that I haven't grown. Even though I was telling myself I didn't, even though I was just telling myself I was still weak because I still ended up there. I just wanted to say that all these people online that are all interested in like self-growth and self-development and just like the stuff that I post, these things do help, but that doesn't mean you end up leading a perfect life, and that's perfectly okay. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a reality check before I get into all this, because I wanted to say that these things do work. You do these things, and when you get knocked down, the fact that you got knocked down doesn't make you weak. It's getting back up after you get knocked down is what makes you stronger. You have to break down your muscles to make them grow, and I feel like it's the same with your mental strength. So I'm gonna get myself together and actually give you guys the tips that have helped me so much and helped me avoid getting to this stressful, beat yourself up kind of state most of the time. But just know that if this happens and if you go through it every day, that it can and will get better because you clicked on this video, so you're here working on it. A more positive, healthy life is possible for you, and I wish someone told me that a long time ago. So yeah, I never thought I'd be uploading a video of me crying. But I'm gonna get myself together and then actually give you guys the tips. Okay people, I've freshened up. My voice might still be a little wonky and my eyes are probably still puffy, but I put on mascara so I'm not allowed to cry again. Which I shouldn't during filming this, but you never know. Anyway, I have 10 tips for you guys for de-stressing, and hopefully at least one of them will help you out the next time you feel stressed out. So my first tip is to identify why you're stressed. You can't really do much about why you're stressed if you don't really understand why. I know sometimes we just feel like really overwhelmed, but we don't really understand why we're truly stressed out. And if you're trying to combat that, it's kind of like fighting a losing battle because you can't help to resolve the cause of the issue because you don't actually know it. So yeah, just like dig deep, figure it out, and then that'll give you a starting point. My second tip is to focus on one thing at a time. Just really focus on being present in the moment and whatever you're doing, the one thing that you're doing. Something I do is I have a note on my phone that I've labeled like brain dump, but it's basically if I'm doing anything and I have an idea in my head and it's something I need to like do later, or it's a creative idea or just anything, I put it in that note and then I come back to what I'm doing and I just focus on that, because we have thoughts flying through our head all day, and a lot of us, they just sit there and we try and keep track of them while we're doing other things, and it can be overwhelming. So if you put it somewhere, whether it be a notepad, notebook, a note on your phone, whatever, you've taken it and you've put it somewhere where you can come back to it, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore until you're ready to. My next tip is to set planning time. A lot of the times we are constantly preparing for the next thing. We're thinking of the 5 new things on our to-do list instead of the task we're actually trying to knock out right now. And then we get overwhelmed because we're thinking about everything we have to do, everything we have to prepare for, everything we have to plan out, not to mention do. And that gets overwhelming. So if you set out time to plan, then you can get all those things done that you plan on getting done. And then if you have that brain dump note, if you have extra time, or the next time you plan, you take that note and you plan out dealing with those things that you come up with during the day. And you don't feel like you're juggling anymore because you have a plan and you're ready to knock it out, and you have a designated time to do all the planning. And then you're also not stuck in perpetual planning to the point where you don't actually get anything done. And then also, you know what you need to get done. Tip number 4 is to move your body, and I know this is something that you guys probably heard before, but any way to move your body, whether it's like yoga or going on a walk or going to the gym and lifting weights, whatever it is, it helps with overall stress, like just in general, because you're releasing endorphins and stuff like that. But it can also be a good tool for dealing with stress, like in the moment when you're in a particular moment where you're feeling stressed out. Because actually happened this to me the other morning. I wasn't feeling too great in the morning. I had a crap mindset and I ended up going to the gym, which is part of my routine, and just the feeling of just like lifting weights and smashing out a good gym session just makes you feel like so much more confident and stronger. Yeah, so that helps me. A walk could help calm you down. A yoga is all focused on deep breathing and stuff that helps you calm down. So just anything really moving your body helps a lot. My next tip is to have a plan for when you're overwhelmed by stress, something I could have used just now. I have used this before, but I didn't. I'm not perfect at all of these tips, guys, but I have used all of these tips. Some ideas of some plans you can have put in place is like some way to put things into perspective, whether that's like writing a letter to yourself or talking to your best friend, someone who can remind you like how amazing you actually are, moving your body, the yoga, meditation, walk. You could watch a funny TV show or like funny animal compilations on YouTube, like whatever it is, something to make you laugh, kind of get you out of your head. Or you could I've even seen people have like a box prepped, because sometimes you have like a whole stressed out like bad day and you don't feel like cooking, you don't feel like doing stuff. So I've seen things that are, it's like a funny movie, you have like easy to cook meals in there, whether it be like a can of soup or something, or maybe you keep some frozen like healthier meals in your freezer, or like a box of freaking mac and cheese, you know, something that can like nourish you even when you're not up to doing the work to like, you know, really help yourself when you're really struggling. And I've also seen you could put I said write a letter to yourself, you could put the letter in there. It's been a while since I've seen a post on one of these things, but you could definitely look those up. I don't have one myself, but I definitely think it would be useful. Maybe I should make one and I can make that into a video. Future ideas. My next tip is to focus on what you have done, not on what you haven't done. So often when we're stressed out, we're so focused on our failures and what we haven't achieved instead of focusing on what we have achieved. Because honestly, when you focus on what you've done, you feel proud, you feel happy, like you're not stressed about all the things you haven't done because you're focused on like all the things you have. It's as simple as that, but I know that's hard. So maybe like I said, in the letter to yourself, and put things in perspective. You can write down things that you're proud of. Like, there's so many ways to help, and you can tailor things towards you. And these are just a bunch of tips that have worked for me. And some of them I do use more than others. I don't go through like 10 steps to de-stress every time I feel stressed out, but I utilize these in my everyday life and they do help me. My next tip is to distract yourself, get out of your head somehow. And I know I mentioned like a funny TV show or something earlier. You could do that. You could read, you could call a friend, just anything that's just gonna kind of make you forget why you're stressing just for a little bit, so that you can come back to it and really analyze it when you're not in this overwhelmed state. My next tip is to recognize your stress signals, and especially the physical ones, because most of us don't realize the physical toll that stress takes on our bodies, but it really does. Like, some of them for me is like my hair. Now, I have long hair, and if you have long hair, you know long hair sheds a lot. But I realized that the amount my hair sheds is actually a stress signal to me. When I was in high school and extremely stressed out all the time because I just thought that was normal and I didn't do anything about it, I told myself I was gonna fail every single exam, even though I was a straight A student. I was like top 5% of my class. Like, I was doing well, and I, stressed out all the time. And it didn't need to be that way, because clearly I was capable of doing all the things that I did, but I stressed myself out into doing them. And I remember I used to just have hair I'd have a jacket with hair like all over it just because it would shed all the time. I was constantly pulling hair off of my clothes. And it wasn't until I started dealing with my stress that I realized that my hair doesn't naturally shed that much. It does naturally shed. It's long. That's normal. But the amount, that's not natural for me. And I never realized that before. Another thing, I used to always think that my natural face expression was with my eyebrows raised. I used to walk around like this all the time. I remember thinking this in middle school, that I just walked around like this and this was normal. This is a stress response for me. You might see me do that in some of my videos because, I mean, especially the earlier ones, because I'm a bit uncomfortable and it can be a little stressful, which is normal. You have to like do things to get out of your comfort zone, which can be stressful. But like, I'm sitting here now, I'm talking, and I'm like, I don't have my eyebrows raised. So even though I just went through a whole stressful situation, but that's a sign. I know, and I tell people that are close to me, if you see me walking around with my eyebrows just raised for no reason, check in on me, because that's a huge signal for me, and it's very easy to see. And guys, I have wrinkles already from doing this. I'm 21 and I have forehead wrinkles from stressing out and raising my eyebrows for years. Like, stress shouldn't be something that's pervading your life every single day. I'm getting into it on this tip, guys. And just another one for me has been my Crohn's symptoms. They flare up a lot when I'm stressed out, and when I'm not, they do a lot better. And these signs could look different on you, but learning those signs can be external sign to you that you're stressed out more than you realize you are, and that can help you get ahead of it and start to deal with it instead of waiting till it completely overwhelms you. My next tip is to track your stress. And if you guys actually watched my last bullet journal setup video, I did actually a whole 2-page spread on tracking my stress. I've tracked my stress for about a year now. Just like every day I just go back and look at the level of stress. I rate it from 1 through 5, and that's really simple and easy to do. And what it does is it makes you go back and reflect on the day before and how much stress you were really dealing with. And when you do that every day, it can put things into perspective as to what you really need to be stressing about, and also makes you feel good when you realize you had a good day, you had a low stress day. And when you have a bad day, that's fine. Everyone's gonna have high stress days. That's normal. You put that into perspective and you're reflecting on it, and that helps you to deal with it. And what I also added to my bullet journal spread this month is I wrote down the thing that stressed me out the most, but also what I did about it. And some days, it's not a good thing that I did about it. Some days I fall apart under stress. That's normal. But I also have days where I take my stress, I turn it around, and like, hell, today, I had an extremely stressed out argument. I fell apart way more than I should have. But you know what? It put this video into perspective for me. I feel more passionate about this video now filming it than I did before, like a few hours ago. And I was still planning on filming it today, and I still felt like it was an important message to give to you guys. But you can turn your stress around and have it make you stronger. We go to the gym, we put stress on our muscles, and that makes our muscles stronger. And I feel like I said this earlier, and the same goes for your mind. Okay, so my last tip for you guys is to prioritize yourself over your to-do list. So often we end up so overwhelmed with stress because we put our worth into how many items we check off our to-do list, and that's not where our worth lies. If you guys hear noise in the background, I think my boyfriend's cooking or something. I don't know, but I'm almost done filming anyway. But you are what matters most, not your to-do list. Make your self-care routine non-negotiable. Make the things you do for yourself non-negotiable. And you can have non-negotiables on your to-do list as well, but you are... Oh, honey. Come here. Bobby? Guys. I think he has headphones in or something, but he just slid a note under the door. Oh, it's so sweet. I'm gonna cry again. Anyway, I was saying, you can have non-negotiable on your to-do list as well, but you are always the priority. and do all the self-care things, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't have to be a pamper yourself day. It can be starting a meditation routine. It can be adding some journaling. It can be doing yoga sometimes. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be hours that you set aside. Sometimes self-care looks like meal prepping because you're taking the time to make sure that you have healthy food to put into your body instead of going out and getting McDonald's. Not that you can never have McDonald's. I can never have McDonald's because I can't have gluten or dairy, or all I can have is fries. Anyway, I'm a little scatterbrained, guys. It doesn't have to be hours you set aside. It can be little things you put into each day. And actually, my next video is going to be 7 Days of Self-Care, which is a video inspired by I don't know if it was recent or not, but a video I saw by Rachel Ost. She did 7 Days of Self-Care where she had a word kind of for every day, and she did some little self-care items for each day, and I wanted to do my own version of that, so that's going to be my next video. So if you guys are looking for tips and you're watching this in the future, then I can, after that video's up, I can link it here, and I think that's where it goes. It might be this side. I am a real YouTuber now. But I can link that in the video, and then you guys can go watch that next, and then maybe that'll help you out. But even if it's just like committing to your workout routine, getting out in nature, just going out outside, going out in your yard, and drinking your tea outside or coffee or whatever. Just a little thing, but make it a priority, and you will find yourself in such a better state to go and act on your to-do list, and you won't be so overwhelmed. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe and tick the notification bell because I upload new videos every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the next one will be that self-care video that I mentioned. So make sure you hit that so you don't miss that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and that these de-stressing tips help you out, and that, you know, your life upcoming is just a little bit more pleasant thanks to these tips. But have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. I don't... Teddy! What? That's mine. Oh, like a box of freaking mac and cheese. Like, the healthier kind, of course. Like, it's... I don't even know what I was saying anymore, damn it. Oh, and